Listen up, hockey fans. You're in the right place. A no-hold-barred debate between two hockey fans. Stay up to date on current issues in the NHL, even the controversial ones. Welcome to The Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud.
To me, I always wanted to be here, and that was not a question for me throughout the entire process. It was a long negotiation to get to where both sides were happy. I don't know, I was getting into like the last, I think, 40 minutes before the deadline, and I was talking to my agent, and I said, let's just call him. And then that phone call, I think, really got everything done. I'm just happy to be back and go out and play and do what I love. So, obviously there's going to be expectations, and I think that you guys have expectations, and I have expectations of myself, so there'll be pressure on me from myself as well. It's a special feeling every time you put that jersey on. And
it's time for another episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast, episode 43. It's December 3rd, 2018. I am your host, Brad Burud, joined alongside my co-host each and every week, Blake Friars. And Blake, it is a great day because we are past December 1st.
Yep.
The Nylander Saga is done.
Yes.
And we can talk about it tonight, and then we can forget about it for a while, even though I do think it's something that will be in the news for some months.
Well, it's just mind-boggling. Like, TSN follows Nylander around like a little puppy dog. Oh, he's got his bags off the plane. He put it on the luggage cart, and it's like, settle down. Like if one of us did that, you get charged for stalking. But no, TSN goes there. Oh, we gotta follow Nylander's every step, and it's like, oh my.
Well, it is a big deal in Toronto, and I honestly, and we'll get into this a little bit more, but I am a little bit surprised in how it played out. But we'll get into that later in the show here. But Weber's back in Montreal.
Yeah, he looks good. 3 goals already, and
really looks good.
No knock against Jeff Petrie. But, when you add Shea Weber, your captain, on the back end, quarterback the power play, it just brings so much life to the power play, and his leadership on and off the ice, it's just great for the Montreal Canadiens.
I've always been a Shea Weber fan, and I get really frustrated, and especially last year in Montreal, I felt like he got the raw end of the stick in a lot of things, and I think the media was really tough on him, and everybody's real tough on him, but I think they're going to be really, really happy with the Shea Weber that they have.
Yeah, no, Montreal played it smart. They allowed him to get fully healthy again, and so he didn't play hurt. But some of the doctors questioned maybe you could have got the surgery at the start of summer, so we would have been back for the start of the season.
We talked about that earlier. That was a little bit odd, wasn't it?
A little bit odd, yeah. But he's fully healthy now. They're going to make a push here, and hopefully they can get in the playoffs.
We're kind of moving into a key part of the season, the way I look at it, and we can't say the season's new anymore. We're into the guts of it now, and I feel like a lot of teams are starting to shift in the standings. Mm-hmm. We saw kind of Minnesota fall back a little bit. Surprisingly, we saw Anaheim kind of come up, and
Pontus Aberg's been really good for them.
What's going on? I kind of wrote it.
Did you see the trade they made today?
Their goals against are minus 14, but they're
they're getting good goaltending.
They are.
They're getting John Gibson. So I think he's a top 5 goalie in NHL.
They either win really big
or lose
really big.
Yeah, it's pretty inflated. But did you see the trade they made today?
Yes.
Daniel Sprong for Marcus Pettersson.
Did not think
Daniel Sprong was a highly touted prospect coming out of junior.
I know it. I'm sick of highly touted guys getting like Klemchuk got traded, and I'm like, who cares? These guys have proven that they were good prospects that didn't pan out. So I just don't get too worked up about those kind of trades. But another thing I feel like is in the air right now is there's a lot more hatred going on in the league. We had a lot more fights. I know Saturday night was kind of wild. Duncan Keith loses his mind.
Yep.
The Philly-Pittsburgh game reminded me of a Philly-Pittsburgh game from 8 years ago. Yep. It was really fun to watch.
That all started with that Battle of Alberta game. That kind of set the tone. It really did. It set the tone.
This Sunday night, round 2.
Yeah, round 2. And then what happened with Detroit and Boston, same thing. 2 teams that don't like each other. And there's been a lot of hatred, you're right, but I still do agree with John Tortorella that it is still soft.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It is time to vote for your All-Stars. Have you done that, Blake?
I did.
I did too.
Got my boy Elias Pettersson. He's going to get in there. He's getting in there for sure.
Come on. We're voting for captains here.
Come on. No, not for captain.
That's all it is. You vote for captain. That's all you get to vote on.
I voted for Elias Pettersson once.
Jeez.
No, but it's going to be for captain for the... Well, it's going to be McDavid, obviously. For the Pacific. There's going to be a lot of...
There should be a lot of different ones, but unfortunately, Unfortunately, in the All-Star draft, fans just pick their...
Yeah, John Scott's in the All-Star game.
It's stupid.
They should get rid of the fan voting. They should go to the GMs and pick the best players.
I think so too. I think so too.
Like it eliminates.
I know you want to have fan involvement, but I want it to be legit. But I don't know how you make that weekend legit, but we'll talk about that later on in the season. But
that's in San Jose this year, correct?
Yeah. Well, on the show today, we're going to talk a little Nylander for the last time. Then we're going to move on to another Wilson hit incident. And then just like a barrage of different cool things that happened in the league this week. All that on the show today. CoolHockey.com is our sponsor. We appreciate everything that they do for us. Check out their website. Get yourself a jersey. Get your Christmas gifts on there. Type inside 20 at the checkout. Get 20% off. And the jersey of the week this week. Who do you got, Blake?
Ooh, jersey of the week.
Hell, you better get Nylander.
Yeah.
Because you can actually get one now and feel like you're not wasting your money. Exactly. So get onto that website. Check out CoolHockey.com.
CoolHockey.com. Jerseys online since '99.
Nylander signs in Toronto. Your thoughts, Blake? Surprised or not surprised?
Not surprised. I felt like, on Saturday night, Friedman said, they're a few 100,000 apart. And, when Nylander first came out and said, I'm worth $8 million, I said, yeah, you're crazy. You've only got 60 points. But if you really look at it, hear me out here. So if a 100-point player is getting $12 million, so a 60-point player gets $6-7 million.
It doesn't all fit in the cap.
Well, I'm saying, realistically, if you look at it, kind of.
No, it doesn't.
But, listen. Nylander's got a lot of balls. This guy has some balls on him. This guy called Kyle Dubas at 4:30, 30 minutes before the deadline, and said, you want to make a deal?
No, I don't think that's really.
No, it is. I read reports on it. It's all over. It was all over. Chris Johnson tweeted it. And I was like, that guy, I just think he wanted to play hockey at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, he's a professional hockey player.
But why wasn't this done sooner? A 6-year deal
so stupid.
At $6.9 million.
Why? The Toronto Maple Leafs caved. Big time. They just paid.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. A year.
Nylander's got balls because at the end of the day, he got what he wanted.
Yeah. Well, his agent has balls.
Yeah, it's both.
So
you're right.
So here's what this taught me. It taught me that there's going to be 15 other general managers that are going to want to grab Kyle Dubas this week at the general managers meetings, and take him out back at the patio at the hotel in Florida and beat the crap out of him. Because he just screwed everybody for the rest of this year on all the RFAs that are coming up, and there's a lot of them. There's Kachuk,
Besser,
there's Laine, there's Besser, there's a ton of them. And you know what? There's a ton of them that are better than Nylander. Nylander is a 20-goal scorer. They just gave almost $7 million a year to a 20-goal scorer. He is the 7th best player on that team. Brian Burke.
7th?
You know what?
7th.
Yeah.
Name me 6 players that are better than him.
You've got to.
I can name 4.
Okay. Well,
Tavares.
I'm sorry, Toronto
Marner,
fans.
Matthews, and Morgan Riley.
I'm sorry, Toronto fans. Player. You still have to have defense.
You're right.
You still have to have defense.
Like I said.
So you got Morgan Riley, Tavares.
Your best offense is defense.
Okay, Blake, I argued about this 100 times with you. That's fine.
I can't.
Name the last Stanley Cup winner that didn't have good defense.
Name me a team that's had Tavares, Marner, Matthews, Nylander all up front. There hasn't been one.
Name me the last team with no defense that won.
Okay, but name me a team that can put up 6 goals a game. Every single night.
They're not putting up. They're not even in first place.
I think they're the team to beat right now.
Blake,
with Nylander, I think they're the team to beat.
You told me the Toronto fans are delusional.
They are, but you can't ignore the fact what they have up front. You can't
Absolutely
ignore that.
Not.
They have some of the best depth up front.
But I can't wait till this summer now. Because if I'm Austin Matthews, I'm walking in and you know what I'm saying? Hello, Mr. Dubas. I'm here for my $13 million.
I can't see it. I think.
And if I'm Mitch Marner, you know what I'm going to say? Hello, Mr. Dubas. I'm here for my 12.5.
No.
Now, let's talk. Because we're not budging and we're not playing next year.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They're going to get it.
No, they won't.
They'll have to.
Matthews won't get it.
If they gave it to Marner.
How much you say, 13?
Yeah, why not?
No.
He might as well go for it.
No.
Why not?
No.
Why?
Nope. He's going to get 10.
So you're telling me that his agent sucks so bad that he's not going to get more than Jack Eichel? Blake, come on.
Dubas has got a lot of work to do.
Dubas is screwed.
He's got some work to do.
He screwed himself. And I had to laugh because everybody ripped on Brian Burke. Because Brian Burke, you know what's funny about the whole thing? Brian Burke spoke the truth on Hockey Night in Canada. And Toronto's media had their all panties up in bunches because they heard something they knew was going to be a problem because Brian Burke's right. But they don't want to admit it because they want to bask in the glory. I love it how a month ago we heard Toronto fans, and I don't dislike Toronto. I actually kind of cheer for Toronto a lot. But hear Toronto fans saying, "Well, if we're not putting up with this. If he doesn't want to play, we'll just have him sit. It's okay with us." And now he signs, and it's like, "Oh yeah, that guy. Boy, we couldn't have done it without him. He's the greatest guy in the world."
Yeah, no.
He's paid $7 million for a 20-goal scorer. Hello. What happens if he doesn't produce?
That sucks. Well, they probably trade him.
Oh, he already made the promise to Kyle Dubas, according to him.
Well, who said this? Who's your source?
It's multiple people put it on today.
Oh yeah, all your Facebook pages that are full of rumors.
It's not at all. It's not. I'm not making stuff up.
I don't know. I don't think the Leafs will be. They got a task ahead of them. Gardner's up for UFA next year.
So what are they going to pay him?
I think they're going to let him walk.
Oh, then their defense is really good.
They got.
Then Ron Hainsey moves up.
Well, no, they got Rasmus Sandin coming up. They got Timothy.
Oh my
Liljegren.
God, are you guys? You're going to keep doing this?
Well, no, they got some good young. They got some good young defensive prospects that are coming up in the system.
But Blake, not every prospect pans out.
I'm not saying, but are you going to give Gardner $7 million?
No, I don't.
And that's what he's going to get on the open market.
Do you think so?
A team is going to pay Gardner $7 million.
I don't know.
Dude, he's a 50-point defenseman. People need defensemen like that. They're going to overpay for guys like Gardner. It's unfortunate that the NHL has come to that. That's how it is. But at the end of the day, he's gonna get paid, and he's gonna get paid what he wants. He's a 60 point defenseman. That's just how it is.
Then the Leafs are screwed.
Well, we'll see. Then you go out make a trade.
What are you gonna trade?
I don't know. We'll see.
Because outside,
I think Dubas,
the fact of the matter is
a pretty smart guy.
I'm not. Well, we'll see.
That's what I'm saying. We'll see. This summer, we'll tell.
But here's the deal, though.
What his fate is in Toronto.
Like, let's say he's able to get Matthews and Marner signed, and then he's got Nylander and
under
Tavares.
20. They're going to get them both for under 20.
No way, never.
Yep.
Why? Why would you do that if you're those guys? Why would you do that?
So you can play together and win a cup?
There's no guarantees on that.
You got a hell of a better chance.
That's what they were talking at Edmonton, too. They're a far cry from the cup.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's what they were saying. We got to keep Draisaitl and McDavid.
They didn't. It's not even comparable, Brad. It's not even comparable.
Okay, but I'm saying,
Hall, Eberle, Nugent, Hopkins, Yakupov.
Okay, so let's just go through this. You're going to have Tavares, Nylander.
Okay.
You're going to have Matthews and Marner.
Kadri.
You're not going to be able to afford Kadri.
Kadri's making $4.5 million. That's a bargain.
So he's through 21-22. Yeah. So you'll have him. So okay, you'll have Kadri.
Marlowe's off the books. That's $6 million
in 2020.
Next
in 2020.
year. Next year, he's
end of next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have so much cap.
That's so much cap.
Look, the cap is going up to $83.5 million next year.
Still gonna have so much cap.
Oh, it's 79.5 right now.
Okay, we're gonna see.
79.5.
We're gonna see.
Right? It's going up to 83.5. Elliot Friedman tweeted today. So did Chris Johnson. 83.5. Next year, we'll probably go up to like 86, 87.
Not if you keep having attendance.
$6 million increase in 2 years.
Not if you keep having attendance the way it is.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't, huh?
It goes up every year regardless.
No, it's not going to go up every year. Hockey-related revenue has to go up. If hockey-related revenue doesn't go up, the Canadian... I mean, there's a lot of factors that involve that. Do I think it'll continue to go up? Yeah, just sheer inflation will create it to go up. But here's the difference, though, that this is my point, I guess. Players' salaries and player expectations of salaries are rising higher than the cap. It's rising at a higher percentage. So something's got to give. And you know who's the real loser of this whole deal is going to be?
It's a win-win.
No, but you know who the real losers of this whole deal is going to be? Some veteran hockey players. They're going to lose their jobs.
Who?
Just watch.
All right. I don't think so.
If all the young guys are getting all the money in the cap, just watch.
Okay, then the veterans will take less. Right? What's Joe Thornton going to sign for this summer?
We'll see.
$3 million? He don't need money anymore.
Do you think
he's got his $90 million in the bank?
I agree with you. He's got a lot of money. Blake, do you think these
guys like that?
Yeah, but they're not going to do that, Blake. Come on.
Marleau,
name me the last.
If Marleau wants to re-sign in Toronto, he'll sign for $2 million to play with those 5. Watch. 100% facts.
The Sedins wouldn't even do that.
Because they retired. They would have did it. If they would have signed, they would have signed for $2 million. But they didn't.
It'll be interesting to see. I do think the veterans are going to. Some of the veterans' salaries are going to pay the punch on this because.
I don't think the Leafs are as screwed as you think they are.
Well,
Time will tell, though.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they won't. Maybe it'll all work out. I don't know, but I do know they need to. I do know they need to shore the defense up.
If you think Kyle Dubas is going to let Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews to RFA qualifying offer range, you're nuts.
All I'm saying is, I think Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner can ask for the world. And if those two want to play hardball, Toronto's screwed.
Listen. Mitch Marner doesn't put up the points that he has if he's not playing with John Tavares.
Yeah, well, you can say that about every player. I mean, Sean Monahan doesn't put up
36 points already.
No, I'm just saying a lot. It's no different though. You know, we talked about this with goalies last week. Like, you're not going to be. You know, the team in front of you makes a good goalie, and a good center is made oftentimes by his wings, or vice versa.
No, it's vice versa. Wings feed off the center. Usually.
Well, it depends. I can think of some other instances because I know Sean Monahan's picked up a lot of points this year because of Johnny Gaudreau.
Other way around too.
Absolutely. I'm saying you feed off the players around you.
Yeah. What are we talking about next?
Tom Wilson.
3 breakaway stops. There's a penalty call coming up. It's against Washington. 3 breakaway saves for Holtby in the second alone.
It's going to be against Tom Wilson. Coming on the back, check back. And Cini rotated up, and Wilson caught him right inside the blue line. Against Braden Holtby, and here's Tom Wilson coming back. And there's that shot to the right side, Joe. Off the face.
That was a bad hit. Wasn't his worst, but didn't need to hit him. That's my basic
that's
analysis.
the thing. I know it's definitely not his worst hit, but that's a bad criteria to base this off of.
And I was shocked you didn't get suspended, and
I called it right away.
You did.
Me and you talked,
you did
and
call it.
I said I don't think, and I don't have anything to base this off of other than a gut feeling. But I felt like after the last suspension and the arbitrator lowered it, I kind of felt like there was some, I don't know, it's just goofy. But when he hit him and the talk of suspension came out, I thought he deserved a suspension just because it was unnecessary. He did not need to hit that guy.
Yeah, it was interference.
Just,
blatant
and they
interference.
said, I love it how some of these analysts said, Well, he couldn't avoid him.
Oh.
He had 8 feet, and Tom Wilson is not.
He had 10 feet, and he's
Wilson
not a dummy.
Is not the fleetest of foot. Like he had plenty of time to get out of the way.
Oh yeah,
plenty of time to get out of the way.
I'm not buying any of that.
I'm not buying any of that crap.
No.
I think this guy's programmed in his head to be a goon, and he's really good at it. And another thing this taught me was that he absolutely learned nothing from that suspension.
No.
Because if he would have learned something,
he wouldn't
have hit him.
No.
Because he had plenty of time to even think about that one.
Yeah.
He did. I called it right away that I said, there will be no suspension because the NHL is afraid to suspend him right now. Because if they have to go to the board and suspend him on this one, if player safety had to look at this, they would have to throw the book at him 20 plus.
I'd say 40.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd double it.
That's what I'm saying. They couldn't just say, Tom, here's 2 games.
Hey.
To any other player, that's 2 games.
If he has a borderline hit like he had on Sundqvist, where he catches a head, he's getting the rest of the season.
I hope so.
He's like that.
I agree.
Stuff
I agree
doesn't
with you.
belong in the league.
It doesn't. We agree completely on this, which is fun to talk about something we actually agree about.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think the NHL looked at this and their player safety said, "This is 2 games, but we can't just give Tom Wilson 2 games. So we're going to have to take the high road on this."
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. No, that's true.
And it's too bad. It's too bad. So now let's talk about something really positive.
What's that?
Saturday night, hockey back at the Nassau.
Yeah, no, it was...
How pumped was that? That place was rocking.
Yeah, it was rocking.
It was so fun to watch a game with the Islanders where it was like...
And they got down 2-0. I was like, oh boy. And then they came back.
Yeah, and they come roaring back.
Yeah, no, it was...
That was one of my favorite games of the year.
It's kind of a letdown, though, because, you're playing a playoff atmosphere at the Nassau Coliseum, and then you're like, oh, we got to go back to Brooklyn? Like, really?
But they're playing 21 games at least.
Yeah, I know.
So that's good.
Why can't they play the rest of the season then?
Well, I wish, but they're in agreements. There's contractual agreements.
Yeah.
It's better that they got 21 than 0, is the way I look at it.
It was...
Because that place was fun.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite games of the year to watch. It was really good hockey.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on a sad note, attendance. What in the heck is going on?
Yeah,
Florida's a disgrace.
I sent you a couple pictures of Florida's, and they had 9,600 fans, and it's... I don't know. It's the same as in Vancouver. It's the same as in Detroit. Detroit had to change their seat colors to black because the red was too noticeable. It's getting ridiculous. And
okay, I think there's a couple culprits. You tell me if I'm wrong. Fans are fair weather, and we expect winners every year.
True.
Okay. I also think the ticket prices are atrocious. Way too high.
Yep.
Way too high.
Costs you like $200 to go to a game.
And that doesn't get you in parking, and it doesn't get you a beer, or a couple beers.
Nope.
And if your team sucks like Florida, a lot of beer.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to rip on Florida, and I hate to rip on Arizona, but, when is this bleeding going to stop?
That's the only knock I have against Gary Bettman.
You know what?
Why does he...
Here's the deal.
Why are these teams still in the league?
I respect.
They keep losing money every single
I respect
year.
that Bettman fights as hard as he does to keep them. But there's got to be a point where you pull the plug. Okay, here's the deal. Here's what really...
There's so many cities that would sell out.
Well...
so many.
I look at it and I'm like, man, what if you move Florida to Quebec City? But here's the deal, though. The Canadian dollar, I know, but the Canadian dollar is the big worry there. That is the big worry.
They're going to put more than 9,000 seats in the building.
I know. And they can't use a TV deal as a thing because a TV deal in Canada is very lucrative. So
Sportsnet?
Yeah,
Rogers?
So I don't understand that whole deal. But here's one of the things. And I heard this week some rumblings of ownership things in Arizona and the thought of maybe them being in Houston, and I don't know what I feel about that.
Even Kansas City can get a team.
Kansas City to me is not the market to go to. Houston scares the living crap out of me too.
Well, it's Seattle's getting a team. That's already a thing.
Let's jump off topic for 1 second here. Board of Governors meetings is happening today and tomorrow, I believe.
Yep.
This Seattle thing sounds like it's going to be a go, and realignment's going to be a go. Next week on the show, we're going to talk about Seattle, and Blake and I are also going to propose some realignment that we feel.
Oh, it's an easy fix.
Yeah, but there'll be
move Arizona into the Central.
But there'll be a twist to it.
Did you see that thing?
Because what if Arizona isn't in Arizona?
Yeah, there you go. True.
And I hate to do that to Arizona, but I hate to do that to Florida. But I pick on those two but it is disheartening when I turn the TV set on and like it is bad. Like Florida is playing Tampa Bay in Florida. That should be their biggest rivalry. There's nobody there. Now I will say that the fans that were there that night were loud.
Well, when you suck, they're not going to show up, and that's the sad reality about sports. That's what it is. But they were selling out in 2016 when they won their division. Am I right?
But the Oilers have sucked, and their fans still go.
That's Canada. That's different.
Well, Vancouver, what's going on? Vancouver's not in dire straits, and neither is Ottawa.
They still get 15,000 fans, I think. But I just feel like there's been a lot of misguided management to the fans, season ticket holders. The plan's not really set in stone, but now they're getting guys like Pettersson, Hughes, Besser, or Horvat. They make the fans want to come watch, right? And they're starting to come around, but I mean, we had a stretch of I think it was like 12 years where we sold out every game.
Oh, so. I know, and I the last fans I'm going to rip on is Canadian fans because I think they're definitely But you look at that Florida thing, and that's something that I think needs to get figured out here because it's not a good thing. I don't know what owner. Here's what I don't understand though: if this is a revenue sharing league and a league where the players get 50 and the owners get 50, why aren't the players and other owners up in arms? Why aren't they saying, "Wait a second,
we're losing money.
This is pulling revenue down." Having teams in Florida.
That's what I'm saying.
Why isn't the ownership in Boston or the ownership in Chicago or the ownership in Toronto saying, screw this? Like, put them in a city that's going to produce some fans. Now we talk in this league, we want to add Seattle. That's great. That's fine and dandy. But why don't we fix our problems before we add?
No, that won't be a problem. Seattle won't be a problem.
No. Fix our problems before we add.
Oh, yeah.
Fix Arizona, fix Florida,
fix Carolina.
And you think that Seattle's a guarantee? I don't.
I do. I think Seattle will be very successful.
For how many years? Ask the Seattle Supersonics how that went.
Well, hockey's different than basketball.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Really?
Yeah. Way more fans in that sport.
I would beg to differ.
Really?
You think there's more hockey fans in the Seattle market than there is basketball fans?
I think so.
I don't.
I think so. Why do you think the Seattle Thunderbirds are always sold out? Because that's all they have.
Western Hockey League.
That's all they have.
They sell out.
That's all they have.
Oh my gosh!
And they're gonna sell out 18,000, no problem.
For how long?
For as long as they're there.
You think so? You think it's a guarantee?
Oh yeah, 100% agreed. I do.
I don't.
I think it's a lock.
I don't.
I do.
I think it's a lock they get them, but I don't think it's a lock that it's successful.
It's like the Nylander thing. Time will tell.
It's going to be fun doing these shows, and you having to admit you're wrong.
Oh, I've admitted I'm wrong, what, maybe twice?
Once on the show today already. Okay. Carlson returns to Ottawa. What did you think?
Oh, I thought he looked great. I thought it was his best game of the year. He had 9 shots on goal. He was flying out there, and I was happy Ottawa pumped him. Oh, man.
What's that not fun?
That was awesome. Huh?
That's kind of fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. They beat him like 6-2.
Here's the deal.
Good tribute, though.
Yeah.
Classy tribute.
Carlson, I thought, was less emotional than I thought he was going to be. And I thought the fans were...
I thought it was
shorter than it was.
They played a game in Toronto, and they asked him one question, what about your return to Ottawa? He left the dressing room.
Yeah, but there was more to that, I think. Somebody asked him a real dumb question. I can't remember what it was.
Well, no, I think they said we're only going to talk about the game, and then he asked him about Ottawa, and then he got pissed and left. And then the reporter's like, we're only supposed to ask him about the game. So
I don't know. It's just stupid though. Like I don't know. Like what do we think he's going to say going back to Ottawa? Like, do we need to ask him? No. I mean, is that so stupid?
Yeah.
I don't know. But here's where I was going with that, though. Do you think that there's a possibility
of him going back there?
Well, that too, I guess. But do you think there's a possibility that San Jose trades him?
Ooh.
To try to get some of their assets back?
No, because their window's closing.
Do you think they sign him?
No.
So you think they're just going to let him go and just give up all those assets for nothing?
They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up a first round pick.
So you think? They're
going to go for Cup run? If
you think they're Cup capable?
Yeah.
You think San Jose is Cup capable?
Yep. If they get their goaltending figured out.
So you think Calgary's Cup capable?
Nope.
Okay.
They don't have their goaltending figured out.
Well, either does San Jose.
But San Jose's a better team on the back end and up front.
I don't know. Calgary's above them in the standings.
Okay. Oh my God, it's December, man. Come talk to me in February.
Okay, we will.
Serious.
So who do you consider Cup contenders then?
Winnipeg, Nashville, Tampa, San Jose, and Toronto's on the bubble. That's 6.
What about Washington?
They gotta prove to me more. They gotta prove.
It's only December, dude.
They gotta prove. Yeah,
you just said it. It's just December.
They gotta get winning.
It's just December.
They gotta show me that they can string wins together.
Well, same with Winnipeg.
Yeah,
but Winnipeg didn't just start winning until this week.
They'll be there.
I know. I like Winnipeg.
They'll be there.
But they're not getting the strongest of goaltending either.
No, Hellebuck's been brutal.
So a lot of teams that need to figure out their goaltending. What did you think last week when? Well, first of all, let's talk and see if you thought it was goaltender interference on David Riddick of the Calgary Flames.
I did.
I didn't.
I did. Simply because
I thought he had enough time.
He had 1 second. I timed it.
I know. It's
don't
chew my head off here.
He gets his feet kicked out by Jamie Benn cutting through the crease. Mm-hmm. He loses balance, scrambles over, gets up 1 second, and gets set.
I couldn't agree more.
It's the same thing it's the same thing with Anders Nielsen the other night. Sagan kicks the stick right out of Nielsen's hands, and the guy scrambles, and they call it a goal. Like there's no consistency. It was good for a long period of time, but this week it's like, okay, this is back to the same old.
It has been good for a long time, hasn't it?
It's the same old dumb stuff.
So do you think that when a goalie gets his legs kicked out like that,
it should be a penalty?
Well,
it should be goalie interference.
Hear me out.
A player should not be allowed in the crease. Should not be allowed to cut behind the goalie because that's dangerous.
Without the puck, I agree with you.
That's dangerous. Ben should not be able to cut across to get to the puck quicker. You should have to go around the net or in front of the net because that's dangerous.
Okay, so here, this is it. This is going to be cool. I agree with you. So it should just be a penalty, right?
It should be a 2-minute penalty.
Okay.
So
the whistle should have blown right away.
Yes.
Should have just blown a penalty right there.
Yes, it should have been a penalty.
Okay. So then I'm all about protecting the goalies in their crease. I don't think a player should be allowed in the crease at any time without the puck. Without the puck.
100%.
Okay. But then when you have goalies coming out like Carey Price did and throwing picks behind the net, at what point are we going to stop protecting them? Because
he should have got an interference penalty.
He should have got a penalty, but he should have also got knocked on his ass. Because here's my point. I'm all about protecting the goalies, but we can't give them free reign everywhere.
Oh yeah,
I think Mike Smith coming out and playing the puck like he does.
Free game.
It should be. Why is he any different? He's a player at that point, right?
Yeah, he's a third defenseman, technically.
Right?
Yep.
So,
I agree.
I mean, now I don't know if I want players coming down and
not like Lucic and Ryan Miller.
But here's the deal, though. Like, why should there be different rules for different players? That's like just say. I mean, what's the difference in that saying? Well, he's a small forward, so we can't hit him. I mean, what's like?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You have to. It's a fine line you got to walk, and it's got to go both ways.
So I think if we're going to protect him in the crease, then we have to give the players a little more latitude out of the crease. Now I don't want players checking goalies, but he should have been able to push Price. Now I'm not saying lay him out, But you should be able to push him out of the way.
Price stepped into him pretty good, though.
I know.
He put a shoulder in him. I don't think he was expecting Price to hit him either.
No, well, who would?
Yeah.
You know? That's what I'm saying.
I do think that's Bush what Jamie Benn did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
But then call a penalty then. It's
Exactly.
not Jamie Benn's fault. I mean, he shouldn't have done it, but it's a
what do
penalty.
you mean? He knew exactly what he was doing.
No, that you're not listening.
He's taking a shortcut to the puck.
Yes, I agree. But I mean, he broke the rules. You should it should be a penalty, just like a tripping penalty is. But he wasn't trying to.
But what Riddick did after that, oh man,
should have been a fine.
I would have suspended him a game.
I don't know if you can.
He broke a stick and threw the handle of the stick in the direction of the referees. That should be abuse to an official.
Yeah,
that's a possible 10-game suspension.
Well, it depends.
If that hits the ref, that's the same thing as
the
same thing as Tuukka Rask hucking a skate blade at the ref.
Yep,
it's the exact same thing.
But here's another thing, though. How about this, though? What's the difference with that, though, than an official breaking up a fight and the guy's yanking the official to get away? What's the difference? Like you know what I mean? Like, that's as much abuse of official. Like, obviously, if the skate blade hit the official, holy cow, or the stick hit the official, like, whoa, or if you shoot the puck at the official, like,
that's automatic 10.
I'm all for it, you know. And I think David Riddick should have hopefully got a stern talking to, and you should fine him. I don't know what you suspend him because they just won't play him the next game. I mean,
yeah,
right, you know. I don't know. Like I think that we have some double standards.
I like Riddick. I love his passion, his emotion that he shows on the ice.
He's funny as hell
cocky.
Too. He's
cocky. You know, he's celebrating mid play, but there's a line. He crossed the line.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I agree with you.
Big time crossed the line.
I agree.
I don't know.
So let's talk about crossing the line, and I hate that we talk about this bozo every week, but it seems like he just forces us to have to talk about him. But Brad Marchand slashes Jimmy Howard, as he's going to the bench, and leads to a brouhaha.
Marchand and Bertuzzi willing to go. And Bertuzzi hearing it from Colby Cave right now. A delayed penalty coming against Boston. Just one. Oh, here we go. Achari wants to go through Marchand to get at Bertuzzi. Rask all the way to the red line, and he is willing to go. Howard throws down. Rask is ready to go. We haven't seen one of these in a long, long time.
And
Plates the goalie's almost going. Man, I wish they would let him go.
You know, Tuukka Rask and Jimmy Howard, look like they want to go. But here's the deal, and I got a kick out of it because in the post game, Tuukka Rask said, "Well, eventually I have to get into one."
Yeah,
which is funny. But if he really wanted to get in one there, why did he take such a long route to Howard? It's like he skated over to the linesman. Like he
says, hey, can I fight this guy?
Did you see that though?
Yeah.
Like his direction wasn't right to Howard. It was like right to the.
Well, it was to Howard at the start, and then he
kind of, but he veered a little bit at the end. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jack Edwards always cracks me up. He's one of the most biased homer announcers in the bigs.
Makes me sick.
But man, he gets fired up.
So here's the deal: like, at what point are you start to get embarrassed if you're Boston?
Oh, I'm already embarrassed every time he does something.
They don't do anything about it.
You know,
it's all a Boston sports. Have you noticed that? Did you see yesterday in the football game,
Tom Brady
between the Vikings and the Patriots? Belichick's out there yelling at one of the Vikings players. Like, I'm not going to say what he...
Thielen.
Yeah. Okay, I've always been under the impression that a coach doesn't ever chirp another player. Like, you just don't do that. You can chirp the other coach or whatever, but you just don't chirp another player.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the professional one.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like there's so much that goes on in Boston sports, and Boston people, you can write me and tweet me and tell me I'm stupid or whatever. I don't care. But
hate the Red Sox.
Why are all their sports teams so...
Celtics.
Why are they all so arrogant, chippy, dirty, garbagey? Like, if I'm a Boston Bruins fan, I'm like, God, I don't know if I can cheer for this team tonight.
Yeah, no, honestly, do you think that Boston would ever suspend Marchand?
Personally, the team?
Yeah.
No.
Be like,
they haven't now. They're not going to now.
I don't know. Like,
God, what would the media in Boston do if they did that?
You got to sit him down and say, like, okay, like...
I would hope that he's been called in, but he's not learning at all.
He's like Tom Wilson. He doesn't learn. He does the same old dumb, stupid shit. You know, it's just like...
It's so frustrating when I see this. We talk about this. I hate talking about these same things.
We talked to you.
But they keep doing something, and everybody asks, it's so frustrating. Mm-hmm. But next week, we're going to talk a little bit of Seattle expansion, a bit of realignment stuff, and hopefully we'll have some other great things on the show. Your turn for 3 questions. I'm ready for it. Up next. You're a hockey fan and you love your team and its players. At CoolHockey.com, they get that. That's why they offer high-quality NHL jerseys at competitive prices. They've been in business since 1999, customizing jerseys to NHL specs and to give you the quality work you will not find anywhere else. Cool Hockey is the #1 place to get NHL jerseys with shipping available to any country in the world. Head to CoolHockey.com now and use promo code INSIDE20 for 20% off your next jersey purchase. It's time for 3 questions. All right, another time for 3 questions. This week, it's Blake's turn to fire them off at me. Next week, I'll be back with 3 questions for Blake, and I feel like making them really hard. We argued a lot this week.
Yeah, we did.
Oh. Maybe this week will be a little bit calmer week for us.
Yeah.
We message each other a lot about stuff. There's a lot of controversial stuff. All right, I'm ready for your 3 questions.
Okay, number 1. When will the NHL break the barrier for women in the NHL coaching and referees?
Referees will come a decade before coaches.
You think so?
Yeah. Referees.
You don't even think like
referees
an assistant coach? No, I'm not saying head coach.
No, and I'll give you my reason why, and it will not be a chauvinist reason at all. Referees you'll see in the 2020s, like between 2020 and 2030.
Really?
Coach you'll see between 2040 and 2050. And here's why.
You think it'll take that long?
Yeah, and here's why. And it has nothing to do with it being a woman. But until we see an influx of women coaching at junior and college levels,
so
there's no path to the NHL.
You don't think a Haley Wickenheiser could be an assistant coach?
Sure. I think we'll see assistants in the 30s to 40s, but we won't see heads until the 40s and 50s.
Why not 20 to 30 for an assistant coach?
Because I just think we're not that. I mean, come on here. Let's not. Hockey's not the.
But if you're good enough, why not?
I'm not against it, Blake. I'm not the one making the decision. I think the best person for the job should be hired.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie that NHL is, especially in the general manager and the coaching ranks, it's a lot of good old boys.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest thing to break into.
You're right.
I'm not saying that women don't deserve it or shouldn't be in it. I'm just saying take a look at the league. Mm-hmm. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to submit my application for general manager.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay, question number 2. After what transpired in Detroit, how many games do you think Tyler Bertuzzi should have got suspended for his actions on the bench? He got 2 games today.
Okay, first let's talk about what happened in case the listeners don't know.
Okay, sure.
It looked like Calvert, the old Brandon Wheat Kings kid,
got his stick
he got checked, but he got checked, and his stick went in there just because his arm went over the boards, and his stick was stuck in there, and it looked like one of the players was hanging on to it, and then he jabbed forward and speared, which he shouldn't have done. But then
I think he was just trying to pull his stick away.
Whatever. I mean, I don't think it was that bad. He didn't like free-handed at one of their heads.
No.
And he was yanked in by Dylan Larkin was there, Tyler Bertuzzi, and a barrage of other players.
That guy that hit
Wisnowski or Wyshynski.
That same guy that hit that Calgary guy last year.
Hamonic.
Hamonic. Yeah.
No, he didn't hit Hamonic.
Wasn't it Kachuk?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I don't remember. He hit Kachuk, and I don't remember, but he was a dink about it. anyways, what was your question again?
How many games should he have been suspended? He got 2 games.
I think that anything that happens off the ice warrants a 10-game suspension.
Well, isn't a like it's the same thing. If there's a fight
and you come off the bench,
it's 10 games,
and your coach gets suspended.
Yeah. So why should it be any different if you're on the bench and you're punching a guy that's on the ice? It shouldn't be any different.
So the league's just telling people, you drag him onto your bench and you can beat the living crap out of him.
I'll give you 2 games.
But he got a lot of shots in.
Oh, I know he did. He fed him uppercuts right to the face.
So what do you think of this Bertuzzi kid?
I don't know.
You know what's funny?
Just like his uncle, I guess.
This sounds so bad, Blake. But when he was trying to get Marchand the night before,
Marchand didn't want to go.
I thought, who does Marchand want to go with? Marchand wants to start all the fights, and then he's running for the woods.
He's a turtler.
He runs for the woods.
Yeah.
The guy's a coward.
He is.
Total coward.
All talk. He's all talk.
But I was all for Bertuzzi, and then I'm like, come on, get the little weasel.
Yeah. Well, the Bertuzzi asked him to go. Edwards is like, Bertuzzi wants to go.
Come on, get the little weasel.
Yeah.
And then the next night when he's sucker punching Calvert, and I've always kind of been a Calvert. Calvert's done some things wrong in the league too, I know, but
good player.
I like him. He's a hard nose. Guy takes a slapper in the face and plays.
Finishes the game, gets the game winner.
The guy's a gamer, and he's an all week Kings guy, so I like him, but. I thought, when something like that happens off the ice, come on, you gotta
chance to send a message. Chance to send a message, and they failed to do it.
I don't know,
and that's why the
NHL
is so inconsistent.
Just like the Wilson thing, I feel like the league's getting heat from the PA. I just do. I just feel like there's the thumbs coming down from the PA right now. I do.
You ready? Question number 3.
I'm ready for 3.
With the coach fired in St. Louis, if they continue to struggle, do you think they should entertain the possibility of trading Vladimir Tarasenko?
Sure.
What
do they have to lose?
You think they blow it up?
He looks like he's 45 this year.
You think they blow it up?
Yeah. What do you have to lose? You suck. Yeah. They're the worst team in the league.
Yeah. No, they are.
Have you seen Tarasenko this year?
He doesn't look like himself at all.
He looks like he put on 65 pounds or something. He just doesn't look like he's Was it last night was it the last night they played? Or the night before?
2 nights ago, I think.
I wasn't watching that game, but I just saw the shot chart come up, and the shots are 18-4. I'm just like, oh my God, they've got 4 shots. It's the end of the first. What's going on? What is with this team?
The thing is, they brought Perron back. They brought in Tyler Bozak. They traded for Ryan O'Reilly.
Overrated Ryan O'Reilly?
No, he's not overrated.
What has he done?
He's got almost 30 points.
The Blues have 30 points.
If Ryan O'Reilly's not scoring, nobody is. That's the way it is right now. He's the only guy that's going for them right now.
That's not a good hockey team.
No. I picked him to finish second in the Central because I thought they were going to take a next step. Jake Allen's not the problem right now. They're not giving him any goal support.
You're right. You're right, Blake. I can't argue that. You're totally right.
Jake Allen. Oh, what's going on with Jake Allen? Now Jake Allen's good. Now they're not scoring. So
this team's got troubles, man.
No, they are. I think they're going to blow it up.
It just looks like to me like they just don't care.
It's tough. It's tough room to be in right now.
That's too bad. That's a storied franchise, and you want to see them do well. You know, you hate to see that. All right, what do we do? Listener question?
Sure.
All right. Got a great question this week from a listener in Minot, North Dakota, Seth Hagen. Thanks for the question, Seth. It's a good one. We like listener questions. Make sure everybody gets their questions to us. We record usually on Monday nights. If you get a question to us and we select your question, we will send you off a really cool debate t-shirt. Let's get right to the question.
Sure.
The question is, does it make sense for top-end college coaches to leave their college position for an NHL coaching position, knowing that the volatility of coaching in the NHL is not very good?
Yeah.
We argued a little bit about this earlier today when we were talking about it.
To me, it's worth it. Because if you're a good enough coach, you're going to stick around for a long time.
It's rolling the dice. It is.
And it's a gamble that I think is worth it because you can make $300,000, $400,000, 10 years, like you mentioned, Guaranteed, right?
Okay, so let's talk.
Or you can make $2 million a year for 5 years, and if you're good enough, you get another extension.
Okay, so let's reference this a little bit. What kind of brought this up is talking about Montgomery in Dallas.
Yep.
And Dave Haxtell in Philly. And what brought this question up?
And Dave Quinn with the Rangers.
Yeah. What brought this up a little bit was the heat that Haxtell's taking in Philly. Haxtell used to be the coach of the University of North Dakota. And I think if you asked Haxtell today, he probably, I don't know, maybe he wouldn't say that. But I think he'd say, geez, I should have stayed in North Dakota. I think he's getting some it's
unfair.
The problems in Philly, I'm not saying that he's the greatest coach in the world or anything, but I'm saying there's a whole lot more problems. Just like any coach in the NHL, I think they take the wrath of a lot of crap that's not their fault. Mm-hmm. The average coach in the National Hockey League lasts 2.4 years. Mm-hmm. Coaches in the National Hockey League make anywhere from about $800,000, most of them making right in that $1 million range, to a little over $1 million, and a couple of them, like Babcock, making that $6 million figure. They're few and far between that make those big numbers.
Yep. Oh, like I said,
so
but if you're
looking
a good
for
coach,
money,
you work your way up the ranks.
I agree with you, Blake. If you're looking for money, yes, it's the way to go.
But if you're looking for stability,
if you're looking for stability, it depends on what college you're at. Now, like if you're coming from an ACHA or a lower level Division I, by all means. But most of the time, those coaches aren't moving right up to the NHL. If you're leaving a CHL team or like a Western League or Quebec League or an Ontario League,
yep,
yes, financially it makes sense because those coaches are making lower dollar amounts. For example, I looked up 2 college coaches in the NCHC, which is one of the better divisions in NCAA Division I. They're making $400,000 a year roughly. Most of them are signing between 5 and 8 year contracts. So if Haxtell would have stayed in North Dakota, he probably would have had security for 5 to 8 years at a $400,000 salary. Looks pretty good financially, but he's also coaching in one of the premier universities in America. A lot of
pressure.
There's a lot of pressure, but it's funny how and I'm speaking from North Dakota because I'm closest to that once you get past a barrier and you win a couple championships, you are pretty much the golden boy.
Yep.
Now, in the NHL, we forget quicker than they do in college hockey.
Yep.
You win a cup, you're the man. 2 years later, if you're not producing, you're probably unemployed. The thing is, like, will Haxtell get fired in Philadelphia?
Well, I don't think he will.
Of course he will, because every coach gets fired. Eventually. Will it happen this year?
No. It will happen.
I think it'll happen this summer. When they don't make the playoffs.
It depends. They're going to take a long... Fletcher, who just got the GM job in Philly, he's going to take a long look at it and say, is the problem the coach, or was Ron Hextall a shitty GM? Because you didn't get the team a goal.
You know what really stinks in this whole matter is?
But
he's
either going to want his own guy, or he's going to stick with Hextall. That's what it's going to come down to.
Philadelphia is an interesting market, and I'm gonna relate this as we end the show here. I'm gonna relate this to 2 different things. And maybe I'm being biased and maybe I'm being defensive because both of these guys came from the state that I'm from.
Yep.
But Haxtell gets hired in Philly. Their fans are instantly mad, think he sucks, and they think the only reason he got hired was because he coached Hextall's son in North Dakota. And so they've had it out for him since the day he got the coaching job.
Yep.
He loses like 7 or 8 games in a row at the beginning of last season. They want his head on a platter. Then he rattles off a bunch of wins and gets them into the playoffs. And all of a sudden, then he's okay. Now they struggle again this year, and they want his head on a platter again. Okay. Now, if he would have been Alain Vigneault coming into Philly, he'd have been okay.
Yep.
But he's the college guy from North Dakota, so we're instantly going to kick him to the curb. Take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
They draft Carson Wentz out of North Dakota State University, and everybody in Philadelphia was like, what? Why are we taking this guy? He doesn't play for Alabama or USC or, Notre Dame. I mean, Seriously.
Not saying anything now.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, Philadelphia fans are rough and rugged.
That's fans, and I'm one of them. When Vancouver drafted Patterson over Cody Glass, I said, what the hell is Vancouver doing? Because I didn't know a thing about this kid. Right?
I know.
It's all deception.
But some markets are harder.
All deception on...
No, I agree with you.
We
have biases.
On your facts.
We all have biases.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah, like, I had a Western Canada bias because I watched Cody Glass play for Portland. I knew he was good. And then they draft Pedersen. It's like, ooh, I don't know about this pick. And then now he's good, so I was wrong.
I was upset when Calgary drafted Johnny Gaudreau. I was.
Why? It's a fourth-round pick.
I know, but it's a risk.
Yeah, it's a fourth round. It's not like you're taking it with your first-round pick.
I know. You know why? I was mad.
Like he's American, Brian Burke?
No, because he was played at BC, and I didn't like BC.
Oh.
That's just, you get rivalries, and you get bias and you get those things. Again, thanks for the great questions, Seth. I'll get that T-shirt off to you. It's always fun talking coaches, and it'd be a tough gig to be a college or to be an NHL
Any
coach.
Is hard.
What a tough gig.
Yeah.
Thanks again for listening to the show, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Inside Edge Hockey News, faking the slapper, and going top shelf. Thanks for listening to the Debate Hockey Podcast. Check out InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com for all your hockey news. Follow us on all forms of social media, and make sure you download the debate on your favorite podcatcher. Check us out on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeart, and YouTube. A special thanks goes out to our sponsor, CoolHockey.com. Make sure you check out their website, use promo code INSIDE20, and save 20% off your next jersey purchase. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy this week's hockey action.
Saved by Anderson. Couturier, the sweep set up. Gibson robs Tierney. Save of the game.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com and on Twitter at InsideEdgeHOCKE and Facebook at Inside Edge Hockey News. We'll catch you next time.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.